All right. So really quick, let's just do a real quick reminder on how to do this. Okay. So we're going to type in. So you went and hit menu 3-2. Okay. So is that in here? There you go. All right. So go to menu 3-2. Oh, you need again. All right. So delete all that real quick. Not this. No. All right. Okay. So you're going to hit menu 3-2. 3-2. Hit enter. All right. So right here, you're going to type in this top equation. So right here, you're going to type in that top equation, which is, cheat off you, y equals, so y equals 3x plus 7. Okay. Then on the bottom one, so we'll go down. Oh, you forgot your equals, huh? So it should be y equals. It's got to match that exactly. Not there. Y equals. All right. And then the bottom one, we're typing in y equals. So y equals. And then x minus 9. All right. So we hit enter. And did you get that right there? Yep. Very good. Very good. All right. So. Oh, okay. So just start all over. There you go. Go right there. And then menu 3-2. So we do menu 3-2 anytime we got two equations. Just hit enter to get rid of that. All right. And then you're going to type the top equation in there and the bottom equation in there. All right. So type in the next two. So on this one right here, we gave y'all some strategies the other day to help you get these. First off, okay, we need to identify our variables. And I'm going to do that by looking at my answers. When I look at my answers, I see nickels and I see dimes right here. So on your paper right here, write N for nickels and D for dimes. That's a D right there. Okay, N for nickels and D for dimes. So we found our two variables, right? Okay. Now we look for two totals. Now, why do we look for totals next? Totals are usually the easy thing. Okay. They're usually going to be our biggest numbers. Okay. So look at this. What are my two biggest numbers? Not always going to be the biggest, but a lot of times they are. Okay. And notice what it says here. It says it's a total of 60 coins. So that's definitely a total. What else? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I owe y'all, and today is going to be too busy. I'm hoping on Wednesday I'm going to pay up. So Wednesday we'll be back in here. I haven't forgotten though. I have it down. I still have. Look, I got all y'all's right here. I have it highlighted. Who gets the extra? I have all the candy. It's just we got to find that time. So if you made an A or a B on the test, so all right. So what's the other total? 445. Now, when it works out like this right here, and guys, unfortunately, it won't always. And today, we're going to see a lot of times it doesn't work out to where it's easy like this. I'll never find you out. So these right here, I consider to be somewhat, they're still difficult, but a little bit easier. Okay. Because it gives us a money equation, and then it gives us one that doesn't involve money. And the one that doesn't involve money, usually you take your two letters, and what are you going to do with them? You're just going to add them. So let's see if this makes sense. It says that there are 60 coins. The coins are made up of nickels and dimes, right? So how do we get to 60? We add the nickels plus the dimes. like that right there. Okay. All right. So then we get to the money equation. And you look to see if you can plug money in. The problem is I don't see any money. You have to know what the money is. Does anybody remember what the money is? Very good. And the dime is worth how much? 10 cents. How do I write that? 0.10. This is the tricky one. This is the one everybody gets wrong. What is the nickel? 0.05, not 0.5. 0.05. And that's what a lot of kids do is they choose the 0.5, just not even thinking, and they trick you on it. All right. So now with nickels, we got to put the nickel. So we're going to put 0.05 in plus, what's the dime? 0.10 for the dime. So this is called our money equation. Okay, this is called the money equation. All the money went together. The money for the nickel, the money for the dime, and the total money. This 60 was not money, and it didn't have any money in it. So these are the ones that I think are the easy ones to write if you can do these. All right. If you're like, Coach, I don't know what you did, then what are we doing? This is C, and we're going to be happy about it. We are not going to let ourselves get stressed out. Oh, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure when you multiply that you're multiplying it by, well, if you multiply by 5, you would have got 445. You know, if you multiply by 0.05, it'll give you that exact number. There's nothing wrong with what you do. That's a great, I'm not going to lie. That's probably what I would do. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, no, that's probably what I would do. What she did is she simply just ran it backwards, and she plugged in the 5 cents for the nickels and the 10 cents for the dimes, and just ran it through the calculator and see which one gave her $4.45. Does that make sense? And there's nothing wrong with that. I said that's probably what I would do if I was working it out. All right. So now that we see this right here, now we actually got to have the answer. Okay. Now I want to see everybody doing this in their calculators. All right. We have not done one that looked like this in your calculators yet. Every one that we've done had an X and a Y. Okay. We are not going to switch this to X and Y. All right. So watch how I do this real quick. And I want to see y'all doing this. All right. Don't rush ahead on me here. Don't rush ahead on me here. Otherwise, you'll miss what I'm doing. All right. So just to make sure that everybody sees this, I'm going to start a brand new one. We're going to go menu 3-2, but don't hit enter yet. If you hit enter, then I want you to do it again. I want you on this spot right here. So I want everybody doing this real quick. So hit menu 3-2, but then stay right there. Okay. All right. So we are going to go ahead and hit menu 3-2. All right, but don't hit enter right here. All right, come on, come on. All right. So we are going to switch these letters from X and Y. What two letters are we using here? N and D. So I'm going to delete these and put N, comma, D. N, comma, D. What do you mean? It didn't? Okay. All right, we're getting rid of the X and the Y. All right, N, comma, D. There you go. Oh, hold on a second. Let's change that. Hold on a second.
Oh, I thought I did that.
No, yeah, just leave that. Okay, now just hit enter.
It doesn't matter if it's capitalized. He capitalized.
No, I don't. As long as when you type it in, it's also capitalized, it's good. All right, so hit enter. Now notice it puts N and D here. So now we're going to type in this equation the way it looks. I got the equation right here. So if you can't see it, I've got it right here. Type this in. We got N plus D. You guys, y'all typing this in? N plus D. Type this in. So N plus D. He's got it on caps. It's going to stay that way. Yeah, hit enter. Yeah, and then the equation's right there. So N plus D is equal to 60. And then on the bottom, we're putting 0.05 in I can barely see my N right there. Plus, I definitely can't see it if you're there. So 0.10. Yeah, I couldn't see that. D equals well, let's do this. Okay, let's do this first. Finish typing it out, and then we're just physically going to go over there and change that to N. And then equals 4.45. 4.45. All right, now physically go over here and switch that to N and then the comma D. And I think it'll still work. So hit enter. Okay, still typing that. Did you get it? Oh, we did something wrong. Oh, you put point, and you didn't even put the D. So right here.
Oh,
okay, but you also put it's 0.10. You put 0.1. You have some parentheses there for some reason. There you go. I don't know why those are there. It didn't. There you go. All right. So here's what I love about this now. Okay. Here's what I love about this. One of these represents nickels and one of these represents dimes. Okay. And I probably would forget which one was which, except they've got it right here. So 31 represents what? N, which is nickels, right? So which of my answers has 31 nickels? Yep, B. Very good. Now, guys, I mean, there's a lot to that, isn't there? So we are not trying to say by any stretch of the imagination that this is easy, okay? And unfortunately today, we're going to see what some of the hard questions look like. All right. So that one right there was easy because it was set up just like a lot of the ones we saw the other day that were really easy, where they give you one that's a money equation, one that's not a money equation, and it just sets up real nice. These next few, like I said, they're just kind of nasty today. All right. So I want you to try to see how we're doing it. But in the end, the main thing is make sure you get this written down so that you get credit. All right. That's the main thing. All right. So I'm reading this. Oh, first off, look at your answers here. We need to define our two variables. Looking at my answers, I'm going to have A for admission fee, and I'm going to have S for skate rental fee. So A and S. So A and S. Write down A and S. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at this, and it says an ice skating arena charges admission fee for each child plus the rental fee for each pair of skates. John paid the admission fee for his 6 nephews and rented 5 pairs of skates. He was charged $32. Is that a total right there? Yeah, that's a total. He was charged a total of $32. Says Juanita paid the admission fee for her 7 grandchildren and rented 5 pairs of skates. She was charged, that's another total. Now, here's how this is different. I don't just have one money equation. Okay? So before we had one money equation. Now we've got money on both of these. So my little trick doesn't really work as well. Okay? So we're going to use something we call write it as you read it. Write it as you read it. Okay? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the sentence that had this total of 32. It says, John paid the admission fee for 6 nephews. How many admissions did John pay? 6. So this is going to become 6A. Plus, he also rented 5 pairs of skates. So how many skates did he rent? So 5S. And that's our first equation right there. It wasn't terrible, right? but we use the strategy that we call write it as you read it. Okay. All right. So now let's see what Juanita did. Juanita paid admission fees for 7 grandchildren. So how many admission did Juanita do? 7. So 7A plus, she rented 5 pairs of skates. So 5S, that's these are S's right here, not 55. That's S's. Okay. So make sure you're writing these down. Make sure you're writing them down. Okay. Make sure we're writing the equations down. Okay. Make sure you're writing down the equations. Hey, phone's got to go up. Jojo, phone's got to go up. All right. Make sure we're writing this down. All right. All right. So now can we type this in using the letters A and S? Yes. So we're going to go to our calculator again. Now this part I expect everybody to do. This is the part we can all do right here when the equations are given to you. So we're going to go hit menu 3-2 again. But instead of using X and Y, what are we going to use? A and S. A and S. So go right here, delete these, and put A, comma S. So A, comma S, and then, come on, let's go, Jojo. Come on, we got to be typing this in. All right, so now we're going to type this in. You got the answer? All right, so we got 6A plus 5S is equal to, yeah, 6A. So we're using this equation right here. So 6A plus 5S equals 32. That's our top equation. The bottom equation is 7A plus 5S equals 35.25. Yeah, once you put it in, then it's pretty easy. Now, so you're putting A and S, A, comma S, just because we're using the A and the S. Does that make sense? A and S. Okay, just hit enter from there. All right, and then we're just typing in the 2 equations we typed in.
I wish I saw that I didn't, but like, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't get that answer, but I had a feeling because it was close to what I got.
What you got?
I knew it was, but I wasn't sure I was gonna pick.
Hey, I'm telling you, nothing wrong. All right, did you get it? Equals 32. So equals 32. Equals 32. And then that bottom equation is 7A plus 5S S equals, and then 35.25. 35.25. Now, here's what I like about this. Okay, so I'm going to clear all this. So once again, you may not know when you look at this, you're like, which one was A, which one was S? And it tells you right here, A was first. So the A was the admission fee. And they're saying the admission fee must have been $3.25. So we go back here. Which one had an admission of $3.25? A. At a college bookstore, caller purchased a math textbook and a novel that cost. So first off, I know M and N are my 2 variables. M and N are my 2 variables. I got that from my answers. So now I'm looking for totals. So I see one total that's equal to 54. If the price of a math textbook is 8 more than 3 times the price of a novel, so this is a hard one right here. So we talk about easy and hard. This is a hard one right here. Now, they do give me all my equations. And so I'm going to practice something I called write it as I read it. So as we read this stuff, we want to try to write it. So right here, where it gave me a total of 54, let's see if we can write an equation. It says Carla purchased a math textbook and a novel that cost $54. She purchased a math textbook and a novel. That would be M, a math textbook, plus a novel that cost a total of $54. So I'm just writing it as I read it right there. So the first thing I would do, because that one wasn't so bad. What can we eliminate right here? What doesn't have M plus N equals 54? F doesn't. Get rid of all that. G doesn't. But H and J do. Now, what's the difference between H and J? So they've already told you now the second equation. They've told you the second equation, except for one thing. They want to know, is it going to be 3n plus 8 or 3n minus 8? All right, so let's look at the next sentence. If the price of a math textbook is 8 more than, would more than be plus or minus? Plus, and the one that has the plus would be H. I still think that's really difficult right there, okay? I mean, obviously, I'm guiding you through this, trying to help you out. If you would have looked at that and guessed C, would you have gotten this one right? Yeah, and that's why we do that. Yeah, we're going to miss some, but we're going to get some, and that's what I care about, is the ones that we're going to get. Really tough questions today. These have not been easy today. All right, so number 7. Well, I take it back. I do think that the two that we did above this, writing the equations weren't all that bad. They were a lot easier. It just sucked that we also had to plug it in and solve for the answer. But this right here, this was tough. This one right here, I can tell you, anytime you do perimeter is going to be tough. It says the perimeter of a rectangular wooden deck is 90 feet. That is 90 is going to be an equals. I don't see another one. L is 5 feet less than 4 times the width. I don't see another one. Oh, look at your answers. Your answers are going to give you the first equation. Look at this. All your things that say equals 90, what do they all say? They all say 2L plus W. Y'all see that? This, and don't get me wrong, I get that y'all could just sit here and not really pay attention. But do you see how, as a good test taker, you can let the test give you away some stuff? Does that make sense? So if you're using your answers there and you see all of these have the same thing, you now know that this is 2L plus 2W. Nichelle, did you say something?
No, I'll just say yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay.
You asked, did we see that? And I say yes.
I got you. So now, whenever you look at the bottom equation, this is a little bit tough. All right, so it says the deck's length, which is L, is equals. All right, now I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna get everybody, unless you're just really good at word problems, okay? The word less than does mean minus, but it's special. It's something more than just minus. And it's just the word less than, okay? Well, I'm sorry. There are other words, but I don't want you to think it happens every time that there's a subtraction, okay? There's certain words that, even though it does mean minus, it means something extra. And the extra on this is anytime you see the word less than, you take what's in front and what's after the word less than and you reverse them, okay? So like if you put 5 minus 4 times W, that would be wrong. You have to take the 5 and the 4W and switch them. And so it would actually be 4W. And I got that because it says 4 times the width, so that'd be 4W, minus the 5, which was in front of the less than. That's really hard right there. Really, really hard. So what would the answer be there? D? J? So, like I said, I'm I try never to sugarcoat it for you. When it's tough, I try to tell you it's tough. Okay. And so there's nothing wrong with guessing you know, C on all of these. I think some of y'all could definitely do 4 and 5. This one was definitely a little bit tougher, and this was really, really tough. All right. Okay, so this one's kind of weird here. They give you 2 equations, okay, but then they give you graphs, okay? Now, if these said y equals, then I would type it into graphs, but these don't say y equals, so you can't type these into graphs. So where can we type these 2 equations? 2 equations, menu 3, 2. Okay, 2 equations, menu 3, 2. So we're going to go to graphs, and we're going to type it right here under menu 3, 2. So menu 3, 2. It used x and y, so we're going to stay with x and y. So just hit enter. All right, and we're typing these in. So 2x minus 3y. So 2x minus 3y is equal to 0. And then on the bottom, x plus 2y, so x plus 2y equals -7, so -7. All right, so we typed all that in, we hit enter, and we get an answer of -3, -2. So now, I'm gonna write this down right here, -3, -2. How do I choose the answer? I'm looking for the answer, okay, that where they intersect at this -3, 2. Now, -3, 2 is going to be like, here it is right here, -3, -2. It's going to be somewhere down here. I know for a fact it's not C. And I know for a fact, just real quick, B, you can see on your paper, B is intersecting down here. Okay, matter of fact, let me rise this up a little bit. There we go. All right, so we know it's not, and I hear some of y'all getting it back there. So it's not going to be these 2 because it definitely doesn't intersect at -3, 2. So what you're going to want to do is start in the center and then count over 1, 2, 3, go down 2. Now, this is on this line, but is it on the intersection? No. So then we come over here, go over 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. That is exactly on the intersection. So you're looking for the answer that is exactly on that intersection. There you go. Very good.
It's D.
Yep. Very good. All right. Let me clear that real quick. And okay, so this is kind of what you're going to see on the STAR test right here. You should definitely see a question like this. They want us to find the answer. All you have to do is to look. The answer is where the 2 lines do what? They cross. The problem is they're going to try to trick you. Okay? They're going to try to trick you. And the way that you avoid being tricked is you only look at the x coordinate. Don't look at both of them. Only look at the x coordinate. So the answer is right here. But I only want you to look at the x coordinate. If you only look at the x coordinate, you will not get tricked. If you look at both of them, then I think it'll trick you. What's the answer going to be?
D.
D, very good. And so the x coordinate here is +4. The only one of these answers that has a +4 for the answer would be D. Now, if you look at both of these and you see that -4, and notice, so this is what they call the distractor. The purpose of the distractor is to distract you from the real answer. So if you look at both of these and you see this -4, everything in you is going to want to choose A. But if you only look at the X, and the X is always first, then you're not even looking at the Y coordinate. You're just like, which of these has a positive 4? Oh, D. And it keeps you from getting tricked. Okay. We do the same thing when we try to find the X and the Y intercepts. We only look at the X intercept. Okay. We never try to do both, two things at once. Do one thing at a time. If there were two of these that said positive 4, then we would look at the Y. All right. Okay. Number 10 is going to be a pain in the butt. But let's do this real quick. We're not going to get, the good news is we're probably just doing 10 and 11 today. I don't know if we'll have time to do anything else. So that's the good news. But this first one's going to be kind of a pain in the butt right here. Okay. Now, if all of these were Y equals, could you type this into graphs? If all of these were Y equals? Yes. But when I look at this, not all of these are Y equals. So unfortunately, when I have two equations and they're not both Y equals, I'm going to plug them into menu 3.2. We're going to go to menu 3.2. Hit OK. We got, does anybody read this to me? Y equals? Yeah. 5 over 2 X. Fraction bar 3 over 2. I hope the answer is A. What's the next one? Negative 5x y equals -3. All right, so we're gonna hit enter here, and we get this 3/5 and 0. Now, I want you to notice two things. One, 0. If y is 0, then this has to be on the x-axis. So do these intersect on the x-axis? No, they don't intersect on the x-axis, so we know it's not A. Do y'all see why this is kind of a pain in the butt here? Okay. And it sucks, but just the way life goes sometimes. Oh, B and D are pretty close to each other. Maybe we should type these two. Are these close to each other? Oh, they're not far away. Let's do this first. Let's type in C. So here's what I'm going to do. Y'all do know that you can copy and paste, right? I hope you learned this because it makes your life easier. I don't want to retype this whole thing. So I'm going to go up till it highlights and hit enter, and it pastes it down, and now I can just edit it. So on this bottom equation right here, let's see. It's going to become a -15, and the 5 becomes positive. So I'm going to delete that. It's a -15, is that right? And then the 5 becomes positive. And then up top, I think this switches to 2 over 5. Is it -2? So -2 over 5. And you may just want to retype the whole thing. I don't know. And then it's -6 over 5. Ah! 6 over 5. All right, so we hit enter. And we get -3, Once again, if y is 0, that means that this is on the x-axis. And so this definitely did not cross on the x-axis. So that's not it. Oh, I see exactly why they gave you those two answers. Because that first answer was that. The second answer, oh, no, the second answer was this right here. But remember, it's where the two lines intersect, not where it crosses the, just one line crosses. It's where the two lines intersect each other. All right, so now we're going to type this in. Now, a lot of kids might say, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever. I don't want to do this. But if, you're only answering, a few questions on a test, and this is one of the ones that, yeah, at least we can type it into the calculator, then it's worth it, So if you're guessing C on a lot, then yeah, we need this. Then you need to take your time and do it. Even though I know it's It's taken a long time. All right, so we get 5x plus 2y. So 5x plus 2y equals -3. And then the bottom one, I think, was y equals. And 5x minus 3. 5x minus 3. Hit enter. Okay, so this says 1/5 and -2. Now, I have no idea where 1/5 is at, but I know it's positive. And so 1/5 would be on the positive side, somewhere over here. And then -2 would be down here. Nope. Because so it's probably D, but let's see. I'm going to switch this real quick. I'm still going to type this in. Now, I will tell you, this one's going to be much easier because you only have to type this in once and then match your answer. So that's the nice thing about this one. So let's see. So we're typing in menu 3.2.
Mr. Sells,
Yes.
did you say he's gonna post a video?
Yes, I will, but I usually don't post the video till about 8 o'clock at night.
What time is third period?
Third period starts in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
It starts, let's see, officially at 10:20. So yeah, about 10 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna go up and copy this. And then what was the difference between that bottom equation? Just add a minus in front of that. And I know this is long. I apologize, but like I said, I want you to see that. So -8 and then switch the 2 and the 5. So we're going to switch the 2 and the 5 and then -8. Hit enter. All right, I get a very nasty number, but notice this is negative and this is negative. So when I look at this, I know it goes somewhere to the negative and somewhere to the negative. And this is the only one that went somewhere to the negative, somewhere to the negative. I do not think it would be that tough on the STAR test. I think it would probably cross at prettier points, but